So Mike Gundy got fired. What losing to Tulsa does to you. And my god, all the best players are just getting hurt all of a sudden. God damn! Mike Evans is missing time, CeeDee Lamb's missing time, Nick Bosa's out with an ACL injury. What is going on? This damn injury bug, man. Golly. Injuries suck, man. Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. I'm the Grizz, and ladies and gentlemen, we have got Week 3 NFL reactions. We had a couple of close games, a couple blowouts, but we're going to be going over all of them, like we always do. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the Season 2 playlist, which features every single episode from Season 2, which is 2025. If you want to check that out, be sure to click the description so you have all caught up with all the episodes, and you also have it for future episodes. For future ones, whenever they come out. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Helps the channel a lot without further delay. Let's go react to some Week 3 games, shall we? First things first, we gotta go over the Thursday night matchup where the Dolphins were fighting throughout the entire game but ultimately lost again to the Buffalo Bills. 31-21, actually a game I was not expecting to be so close. But goddamn, Miami fought their asses off. Looking at Miami, I'm not gonna lie, I was not exactly impressed with Tua. He was 22-34, 2 touchdowns, a very bad interception at the end there. And the guy only served for 150 yards. A-Chan was productive on the ground. Ollie Gordon got the only rushing touchdown. And touchdown passes went to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, and the max yards per receiver was 49 to be exact. Well, there were 2 sacks in this game. Bradley Chubb got 1, and the best player on Miami's defense, Tyrell Dodson, got 1, along with 11 tackles. Yeesh. As for Buffalo, Josh Allen, 3 touchdowns, 213, 22 of 28. He had a really good performance. James Cook absolutely cooked up the run game. I mean, they pretty much dominated the Dolphins' defense on the ground. James Cook in particular, 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. 2 touchdowns for Dalton Kincaid and Khalil Shakir. Nice to know Kincaid has finally come to life again. Somehow they were unable to get to Tua Tagovailoa one time. Bosa was quiet, I just saw. The only real bright spot for the defense really was Terrell Bernard interception. Also, what the hell was that, Matt Prater? He's 1 of 2. That one miss was absolutely abysmal. What was it, like a 39-yard kick, and he completely missed it. Luckily for him, it didn't matter really too much in the game because the Bills pretty much controlled it the entire way. Once they got the lead, they really never relinquished it. Kicking up to Sunday 1 o'clock slate, we had the Bengals losing badly. I mean, they got the absolute shit beat out of them by the Minnesota Vikings 48-10. I literally told you guys Jay Browning was not going to be good quarterback to lead the Bengals to the postseason. He just was not capable of doing it. Rushing game got shut down. Jay Browning threw 2 interceptions in this game. Only 1 touchdown. That went to Drew Sample. Also because they wouldn't stop turning the damn ball over. Defense for the Bengals was not worth mentioning because, the Vikings offense completely cooked them. For Carson Wentz's first game back as a starter since, 2023? He didn't really do that bad. I mean, he was very accurate, 173 yards, but he did throw 2 touchdowns. Jordan Mason was an absolute monster, 7 yards a carry, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was a beast. Touchdowns went to Josh Oliver and TJ Hawkinson. Little National Tight End Day a little bit early. And Justin Jefferson led receiving with 75 yards. Seems like Jefferson's got a quarterback again. And I gotta be honest, this was a huge day for the Vikings defense. 4 sacks, including 2 from Andrew Van Ginkel. Dremelis had a pick, and so did Isaiah Rodgers, but this man, Isaiah Rodgers, had 2 defensive touchdowns. He was actually the first player to get a pick 6, a scoop and score, and force 2 fumbles, all in the same game. If he doesn't get NFC Defensive Player of the Week, I don't know who is running that, but they need to be fired ASAP. Because this guy, Isaiah Rodgers, came out of nowhere and absolutely wreaked havoc. I told you guys, KOC can take quarterbacks that were forgotten about and turn them into Pro Bowlers. Just ask Sam Darnold. Up next, we can go back to an very ugly game here. Jacksonville beating Houston 17-10. This was just a horrible game for the quarterbacks. Yeah, not gonna lie, I think the CJ Stroud hype train is officially halted and is out of commission. I mean, he threw 200 yards, a touchdown, but 2 picks. Rushing game didn't really help that much either. Like, the only guy who really did much was Nico Collins, 8 catches, 100 yards, and a score. For the defense, I mean, they weren't completely awful, I guess. I mean, 2 sacks, interception by Jalen Peter, but man, the offense has got a lot of work to do, especially in the trenches. Wasn't a good day for Lawrence either in Jacksonville, 222 yards, but 50% completion percentage and an interception. He better be lucky that Travis Etienne and Bashal Tootin got touchdowns. Because to be honest, besides the 2 touchdowns, the run game wasn't much better. Leading receiver was actually Brent Strange with 61 yards and 6 catches. I actually have him on my bench. Oh, by the way, I'm 2-1 in fantasy football now. Thank God for Lamar Jackson and David Montgomery. More on them later. Ryan Thomas had like a 47-yard reception or something like that, but only 2 catches? What's going on with him? I also heard Travis Hunter's going to go into a more offensive role now that Brian Thomas has started to struggle. The guy had 6 tackles on defense. He was pretty good. Tyson Campbell, 7. Interception by Jordan Lewis and Antonio Johnson. You see the secondary doing this good of picking on CJ Stroud. Yeah, I can see why Travis Hunter, they're trying to get him to move to the offensive side of the ball instead. I'm glad I didn't watch this shit show. Next up, Colts smacking the Titans 41-20. Damn, the Colts are 3-0. Daniel Jones is 3-0. New York fans, I hope you're glad. Ever since he left New York, Daniel Jones has become the biggest name as far as redeeming quarterbacks. Yeah, 18 of 25, 228 yards, threw a touchdown to Pittman. But the main story of this game was Jonathan Taylor. I mean, this man, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, he is a top 5 running back in the league, and you cannot say otherwise. Like I said before, Pittman had a touchdown grab. Pierce making big plays. Tyler Warren, pretty nice 12 yards per reception. Josh Downs is kind of the odd man out here. Colts defense also had themselves a day. 2 sacks for Tyquan Lewis and a pick 6 by Kenny Moore. This was a great week to be an Indianapolis fan. For Tennessee fans, not so much. I mean, Cam Ward's slowly improving. He's 200 yards, touchdown, and a pick. Just does not have a good supporting cast with him at the moment. Tony Pollard did get a touchdown, but his production on the ground has been absolute shit. Another touchdown for Elik Ayamaner. I mean, this guy has been Cam Ward's favorite target. Chico Conwell was leading receiving though, so that was good for him. And defense, yeah, this was probably their worst performance of the season so far. It's going to be a long season for Tennessee. Coming up next, we got the Commanders absolutely destroying the Raiders 41-24. The scoreboard doesn't show the entire story. Like, Commanders smacked them with Marcus Mariota. Geno Smith played well at garbage time. He did 3 touchdowns, almost 300 yards, but realistically, the offensive line sucks and the defense, oh boy. Genty's like, he's making plays, but he's like very consistent back right now. Trey Tucker, the only one with touchdowns, he had a monster game. 8 catches, 145 yards, and 3 touchdown bombs. Like, legitimately, Max Crosby is like the only good player on this defense, because without him, this Raiders defense is probably like 31st or 30th. Meaning, 2nd or 3rd worst, maybe even last in defense. As far as Washington, of course, Mariota, he didn't really have to do much. He wasn't flashy. He got 2 total touchdowns, 250 yards. I mean, he did what he had to do. Rushing game was absolutely spectacular. Nichols had a touchdown. Bill Crosby-Merritt had a touchdown also. Also, unfortunately, heard that Terry McLaurin is injured now, so he'll be missing some time with a calf strain, probably. 3 catches, 74 yards, he led receiving, and Luke McCaffrey had a touchdown. That was not on my bingo card this week. But, my God, Washington wreaked havoc on this Raiders offensive line. Bob Wagner, 2 sacks. Armstrong in a sack. Von Miller had a sack. Good God. And there was also one from John Baptiste as well. I am not excited to play y'all next week. I'm talking about you, Dan Quinn. Next up, we had probably the wildest game of the 1 o'clock slate. Besides maybe a couple of them, I still think this was probably the craziest one. Anyways, Eagles beat the Rams 33-26. Rams trying to kick a game-winning field goal, but Jordan Davis blocked it and returned it all the way to the house to win the game. Let me tell you, this game was crazy. Rams had like, what, a 26-7 lead in the 3rd quarter, and then Philadelphia came all the way back. My gosh. I mean, like, it wasn't all bad. You know, Stafford had his worst game of the season so far, but he wasn't terrible. 2 touchdowns, 200 yards, and a pick. Wasn't horrible. Run game was definitely a little bit sloppier this time. You know, Kyron Williams, 100 rushing yards, but 4.7 yards a carry. Blake Corum even outproduced him in the run. Touchdowns went to Kyron Williams and Devontae Adams through the air, and Puka Nacua is still doing his thing with 11 receptions. I mean, like, in the first half, like, this defense absolutely dominated this game. Like, Byron Young, Jared Verse, Ford, and McCullough got sacks, but then second half, it just all shut down. As for the Eagles, you know, Jalen Hurts, struggled in the first half, but then started to pick it up in the second half. 4 total touchdowns, 3 through the air, 1 on the ground, 21-32. Rams defense doing a nice job of containing Saquon. He wasn't able to do much of anything at all. Like, teams are really keying in on him. For the Eagles' case, it's good news because that allowed A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Dallas Goedert to get touchdowns. Welcome back, A.J. Brown. 6 catches, 100 yards. How about Zach Bond, the ball eagle, with the interception, and also Jordan Davis. What a game from him. Got a sack, 2 blocked kicks as well. Well, the Eagles' special teams blocked 2 kicks. I think Jordan Davis had 1, and he returned it all the way to the end zone. It really just shows that both of these teams are some of the best in the NFC that they have to offer. Don't let this loss doom you, LA. Can we skip this game, please? No? Fine. Well, you see it yourself. Falcons got shut up by the Panthers 30-0. This really falls on the coaching and also the quarterback as well. Like, it was all bad. Man, Penix definitely had his worst game of his career. 2 interceptions, almost had through 2 pick sixes in this game. Rushing was okay. Tyler Algier only had 1 carry. Even Penix had more runs than him. Most receiving yards was 55. And 1 sack on defense. We're back to sucking ass on defense. And John Romo, our free agency kicker from last week, 0 for 2. And now Younghoe Koo's on the Giants. What the fuck have Falcons fans done? The worst part about this is that the offense wasn't even any better. Like, Bryce Young was not that great. 120 yards, 16-24. He ran for a touchdown along with Rico Dowdle, but Rico Dowdle was really shut down all game, other than the touchdown. Chuba Hubbard, 73 yards. It wasn't a great game offensively. At least T-Mac is transformed into the wide receiver 1, even though that's not really saying much. But their defense absolutely torched us. 2 interceptions. Charleston Wade returned it, 1 for a touchdown, and yeah, that's all for this game. Get it out of your system now. Next up, we have the Steelers beating the Patriots 21-14. Yeah, Steelers defense finally came to life. About damn time. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers didn't really have his best game, 139 yards, even though he had 2 touchdowns and a pick. Rushing game was not even good at all. Like, Jay Warren couldn't really do anything. Kenneth Gainwell touchdown was the only bright spot. Most receiving yards was 34, with Austin and Metcalf having touchdowns. Not a good offensive situation for Pittsburgh. And good God, this was the perfect time for the Pittsburgh defense to go save the day. 5 sacks in this game. TJ Watt had 2 sacks. I think Harmon got his first career sack. Brandon Enkles had an interception, and this defense forced and recovered 4 fumbles. Literally won this game because the Patriots couldn't stop fumbling the ball. For the Patriots, like, Drake May wasn't even that bad. Like, 268 yards, 20-37, 2 touchdowns, a pick. Rushing game definitely did not help him whatsoever, besides, well, Drake May himself. Because players just could not stop fumbling the damn ball. And the big receiver was Hunter Henry. 8 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was the best performing tight end this week. And Robert Spillane had himself a game. 15 tackles and a pick, but it just wasn't enough. Because the Patriots offense couldn't stop, turning the ball over. Definitely get that situated, Vrabel. Maybe we got shut out, but this one feels even better. Packers are Super Bowl contenders. Packers are the best team in the NFC. They're gonna run the NFC North again. Well, you lost to the Browns. Cleveland beats Green Bay on a walk-off field goal from Audrey Smith, 13-10. I'm not even joking. It was 3-0 at halftime. It was 10-0 at the end of the third quarter. What the fuck happened, Green Bay? It's a simple thing. It's what us Falcons fans deal with. It's called choking. Jordan Love was mid at best. 183 yards, 18-25, a touchdown and a pick. We should all know by now that Browns probably had the best rushing defense in the league now. For some reason, the most receiving yards was 52. Oh, about damn time Matthew Golden did something. Where was that the first 2 weeks? I mean, defense wasn't complete ass, but Sean Gary 2 sacks, McKinney interception finally. But what happened? A field goal by Brandon McManus was blocked, and the Browns ended up kicking a game winner. Like, aside from Christian Jenkins, like, the offense was abysmal. At least for Cleveland, because Joe Flacco, 21-36 for 140 yards and a pick? Oh, dear God. And the defense was an absolute menace. I mean, come on. Like, let me count this. I think that count 5 sacks for the defense, including 1.5 from Malik Collins. Schwessinger got a sack as well. Interception by Delpit. And a blocked field goal. Andre Smith, you are a Cleveland hero everywhere for 2025. Oh, we stayed Super Bowl contenders for the Green Bay Packers, huh? No, wait, let's laugh at Pat Green Bay one more time. Finally, for the 1 o'clock slate, we had the Jets almost beating the Buccaneers 27-29. Tampa, like, you were up 17 in the 4th quarter and you almost lost to the Jets. You almost lost to Tyrod Taylor. Hey, Tyrod Taylor's not that bad, but still. You almost lost to the Jets. You know, Taylor had a decent game, 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, 26-36. Rushing game absolutely did not help him whatsoever except himself. That was the same case with Drake May. The only receiver that really did anything was Garrett Wilson, 10 catches, 84 yards, and a tud. Oh, we have an Allen Lazard touchdown, 2025. Besides the blocked field goal by Will McDonald, yeah, they really didn't do anything. How did Aaron Glenn get hired as a head coach? The benefit of beating weak-ass teams. And again, another team whose rushing game was abysmal. Baker Mayfield, 233 yards and a touchdown. This guy is probably the most clutch quarterback I've seen in recent memory. Mika Buka led receiving with 6 catches, 85 yards. Sterling Shepard had 80 yards. Unfortunately, Mike Evans had the only touchdown, and he's also going to miss some time due to a hamstring injury. Jesus Christ, Jets. You allowed 4 sacks and also allowed Jamel Dean to get a pick 6. It was kind of close, but no cigar. Because Chase McLaughlin finally learned how to kick a field goal. Oh, he made 5 of 6. Better thank Chase McLaughlin, Tampa Bay, because he was the only reason you won. Against the Jets. Moving on to the 4 o'clock slate. First off, the Broncos losing a heartbreaker to the Chargers on a game-winning field goal by Dicker the kicker, 23-20. You know, Bo Nix didn't play his best game, 150 yards, 14-25, and a touchdown. But the rushing game was nice with Dave K. Dobbins. That is a beast. 83 yards and a touchdown, 7 yards a carry. And the big story was that R.J. Harvey, man, he had 3 catches, 2 carries, but yeah, he did absolutely nothing. The only real receiver in this game was Cortland Sutton, as it always has been. 6 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. I know Brandon Jones got an interception, and the defense got 5 sacks, including 2 from Nick Bonito, but of course, Talanoa Hufanga made some big mistakes that cost him. Justin Herbert played pretty decently, 300 yards, 28-47, touchdown and an interception. Hampton got a rushing touchdown in this one. Sad news for Chargers fans, Najee Harris suffered an Achilles tear, and he's out for the year. Take a moment of silence for him. Thank you. McConkey's production definitely lacked, but the biggest receivers were Keenan Allen getting a touchdown and Quentin Johnson. And the guy is an absolute dog. I mean, defense wasn't completely awful. And Derwin James, absolute all-pro safety potential there. Troy Dye got the other sack, but no turnovers, apparently. They're definitely lucky Digger the kicker was as clutch as he is. Can these teams start having to send thank you cards to their kickers? Otherwise, they'll get a hefty fine. Next up, Saints get absolutely demolished by the Seahawks, 44-13. This is almost as bad as Vikings-Bengals. Saints definitely got put in their place. You know, Spencer Rattler wasn't bad. 218 yards, 28-39, touchdown and a pick. And Tyler Shock's short time in this game was abysmal. Rushing game was absolute horrid. Chris Olave, 10 catches. He's starting to finally come alive. And the only touchdown went to Jack Stoll. You're so damn lucky Taysom Hill's injured. And yeah, the defense was just abysmal. Sam Darnold, once again, not flashy, but did what he had to do to win the game. 2 touchdowns, 14 of 18 for 200 yards. Rushing game was not good at all, and Kenneth Walker had 2 rushing touchdowns even with that. The opponent I am playing against in week 4 has Jeff Smith-Njigba, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of scared of him to play on Thursday night. He had 5 catches, 100 yards, and a touchdown. Torrey Horton had his 2nd receiving touchdown of the season. 3rd overall. Seattle's defense wasn't flashy, but it got that done. 2 sacks, and Kendrick got his 2nd interception of the season. Safe to say, Seattle completely controlled this one. 21-0 the first quarter. Tells a big story. Next up, we had the Cowboys losing to the Bears 31-14. Ben Johnson's first win as a Chicago Bear head coach. Cowboy fans crying in their sleep. This should not have been America's game of the week, though. Dak, 2 interceptions. Other than that, he was not terrible. 31-40. They made him throw 40 times. Some picks were definitely his fault. 1 touchdown, 2 picks, 250 yards, but he wasn't all bad. Javonte Williams absolutely killed it in the running game. So too did Miles Sanders. The running game in general was just amazing. Jake Ferguson led receiving with 13 catches and 82 yards. Wow. George Pickens also had a touchdown, and unfortunately, CeeDee Lamb had a high ankle sprain. He'll miss a few games. That definitely sucks for Cowboy fans. Defense is definitely not worth mentioning because they made Caleb Williams look like an MVP candidate. 19 of 28, 300 yards of 4 touchdowns, easily his best game of his career, and he had to carry that entire thing because the Bears' run game was shit. Touchdowns went to Luther Burden, who had a breakout game. 3 catches, 100 yards, and a score. Rome Odunze also had a touchdown. Was this the breakout year Odunze needed? Oh yeah, and I also forgot Joe Milton threw a pick as well. 2 interceptions and 15 tackles for Tremaine Edmonds. Defense was absolutely impressive. 3 total interceptions, 2 sacks, I believe, but come on, that was the Cowgirls. I still can't believe this team made J.J. McCarthy an NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Another walk-off field goal. Enan Pinheiro makes a 35-yarder to win the game for San Francisco in a very forgettable game. 16-15 over Arizona. Weirdly enough, this was a battle between 2 undefeated at the time. Kyler didn't necessarily play his best game. He was trying so hard to play hero ball all the time, and it was just a little bit concerning. 22-35, 160 yards and a touchdown. Benson was okay on the run game, but the big story was that James Conner unfortunately suffered a bad ankle injury and he's done for the year. It looked awful. Receiving game didn't make too much noise except for Trey McBride. Marvin Harrison's still pretty good. He's not terrible, but he's inconsistent. Not really much to show for defensively. Josh Sweat getting a sack and an interception by Taylor Demerson. Matt Jones didn't really have his best game either. That's the Matt Jones I know. 27-41, 280 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Rushing game, wasn't terrible just necessarily. The big playmaker in the receiving game, though, Ricky Pearsall's a freaking dog. He is that guy for that receiving core. Ayuk who? Juwan Jennings, whoever that is. This is the Pearsall Show. And starring Christian McCaffrey. I also wouldn't say that these defenses weren't necessarily bad, but they weren't exactly spectacular. Sacked from Bryce Huff. But unfortunately, Nick Bosa is feared to have torn his ACL, so he's probably done for the year as well. Again, require these teams to send thank you cards to the kickers. Because these so-called fans give them so much shit for no reason. Moving on to the Sunday night matchup, we had the Chiefs beating the Giants 22-9, and yes, the Giants are ass. Jets are too. This was the bounce back game the Chiefs absolutely needed. Patrick Mahomes wasn't bad. He was pretty good. 22-37, 220 yards and a touchdown. But they seriously need to give Rashard Smith some more carries because having 2 carries on 6.5 yards to carry is not good enough. Kareem Hunt got a touchdown run though. For receiving, it was led by Tyquan Thornton, who had 5 catches, 71 yards, and a touch. The main highlight of this game was absolutely the defense. 2 sacks, for this defense and 2 interceptions by Jalen Watson and Roland Wallace. About time you showed up, Kansas City. But my God, Russell Wilson is absolutely abysmal night. 8 to the 32, 160 yards and 2 interceptions. The main man was Scanaboo, 60 yards rushing, 61 yards receiving with 6 catches and a touchdown. I'm so glad I picked him up on waivers. I also heard that Jackson Dart will be starting against the Chargers on week 4 on Sunday. Oh boy. Like, dead seriously, free Malik Neighbors. He does not deserve to be on the Giants right now. He needs to go to a better team immediately. Because not only was Russell Wilson abysmal, so too was the defense, other than a rare sack for Brian Burns. You thought our shutout loss was bad. At least we're not 0-3. And the final game of week 3 is the Monday night matchup between the Lions and the Ravens. This was a really good game, and yeah, Lions are still good. Even without their coordinators, they're still good. Only reason why they lost to Green Bay was because they have a good defense. For Detroit, Jared Goff, all he had to do was just throw the ball efficiently, and he did just that. 20 of 28, 200 yards, and a touchdown. Because Sonic and Knuckles did everything else. 200 total yards and 4 touchdowns. And Amon-Ra St. Brown had a receiving touchdown, and he also pitched the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs on one of the touchdowns he had. But dear God, this defense was head-hunting last night. 7 total sacks, 2.5 for Al-Qadim Muhammad. Or is it Al-Qadim? I don't even know. And Aiden Hutchinson even forced a fumble on Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson wasn't even bad either. He had 3 touchdowns, 288 yards, 21-27. Sometimes he just took unnecessary sacks. And King Henry, I know he had a touchdown, but my gosh, this could probably be his worst career year this keeps up. I've heard he's had 2 or 3 fumbles in these first 3 weeks. This is not good for him. Receiving corner was highlighted by Mark Andrews, who had 6 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. I told y'all this guy was still a top 5 tight end in the league. But none of you wanted to listen to me. Rashad Bateman's still good. He had 5 catches, 63 yards, and a score. As for the defense, aside from Kyle Hamilton and Roquan Smith, ass. Well, I guess at least we got to see action from Mike Green and Malachi Starks, even though they were disappointing. I can't believe the Ravens are 1-2, but that's what happens when you face 2 strong opponents in the first 3 weeks. That's going to do it for the week 3 reactions, and that's going to do it for this episode of Grizzly Talks Football. You enjoyed this episode, make sure you give it a big fat thumbs up, hit the red subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the Grizzly signing off for now, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace, love, keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.